What's up, Richard? Timmy's here. With today being the birthday of legendary director David Lynch, who tragically passed away last year, I decided to go ahead and do my top 10 favorite David Lynch movies because he's done some really wide range of films. So here is my official top 10. All right, number 10 is his 1997 movie Lost Highway. Now it stars the likes of Patricia Arquette, Bill Pullman, Robert Blake, Robert Loggia, and many others. Really, he always gets a really good cast for his stuff. And it's more like this tormented jazz musician. This tormented jazz musician finds himself lost in this story involving like murder, surveillance, gangsters, and all. And it's a really interesting little thriller, to say the least. Arquette's terrific. Of course, Robert Loggia's great. Uh, it is very interesting noir style film too. Definitely feels like those noir movies you'll see from like the golden age of Hollywood, but it is a really decent one. If you guys never seen it, give that one a go. All right, number 9 is actually his last movie he ever directed, and that is Inland Empire. It's where like an actress named Nikki Grace who of course gets the lead role in this cursed film, and her like world becomes more and more surreal, blending realities and ideas and infidelities and many others. It has a really interesting cast. You got the likes of Laura Dern, Jeremy Irons, Justin Theroux, um, Harry D. Stanton. The list goes on and on. Some really like William H Macy pops up here. Really interesting storyline. Great script here. Great performances by the cast and crew. Really, the storylines is really intriguing to say the least. And of course, sadly, this was David Lynch's last movie in general, and it's a really decent film if you guys have seen it. All right, number 8 is actually a film that you would not even know was directed by David Lynch at times. It is The Stray Story. Yes, this is literally a Disney movie directed by David Lynch, of all things. Like, when you think of David Lynch, you do not think of Disney movies, let's be for real. But this is a really interesting Disney film, to say the least. It stars Richard Farnsworth, who you might know as the sheriff, who, of course, get kills in what you call it, Misery. And Sissy Spacek's also in this as well. And it's a very interesting, touching story about a 73-year-old who learns that his estranged brother is like critically ill and he's unable to drive. And so he embarks on a journey from Iowa to Mrs. Zion by of course riding a lawnmower here and all. And you do got like Harry D. Stanton who plays his distant brother. The chemistry with Sissy Spacek and Richard Farnsworth is great. Again, I still remember seeing this film. I still could not believe this was a David Lynch movie when I first saw this. And it's a really interesting one if you guys haven't seen it. Sissy Spacek is great. Richard Farnsworth is terrific. It's kind of like when, let's say Wes Craven, because you always know Wes Craven as a horror director. So it's always interesting that he directed a movie called, what was the Meryl Streep one? Wes Craven, Meryl Streep movie. Yeah, Music of the Heart. It's still interesting how they how director who's more known for like more adult fares would go on to direct more of a lighthearted type film here. And yeah, if you guys haven't seen The Stray Story, it's a really good one. All right, coming in at number 7 is Twin Peaks. Now, Twin Peaks, or I should say, Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me is a really interesting film. Of course, obviously based on the Twin Peaks movie or TV show, really. And it of course takes place in like a town of Deerfield, Walsh, where FBI agent Desmond, played by Chris Isaac, disappears while hunting a man who murdered like this teen here. And of course, you do got some interesting cast of characters like Cheryl Lee, Kyle MacLachlan, Ray Wise, David Bowie pops up here, Harry D. Stanton. It's a really interesting, this was actually one of the few times Twin Peaks got a feature film, really. And of course, Twin Peaks was pretty popular at the time, so they decided to venture into a feature film. and it was a pretty decent one, to say the least. So if you guys haven't seen it, definitely give that one a go. All right, number six. Obviously, we got the movie versions, like the newer versions, going here. But before Dennis Villeneuve came out of the gate, David Lynch did crack at, and that is Dune. Obviously, the original Dune came out all the way back in 1984. Based on a very popular novel by Frank Herbert. Of course, where like a space called melatonin is the most valuable substance known to the universe, and on the planet of Arceus, Roy to create Taurus Arcus to do care, and of course, like you got part Australia's Julie like Freeman and pretty much the natives of Arrakis in a battle like for control of the planet here, and you have some interesting cast of characters like you do got Kyle MacLachlan, Patrick Stewart, Sting, Sean Young, some really cool cast members here and there. I mean, obviously, I think the Denis Villeneuve version is actually a tad bit better, but the original Dune was pretty decent. Great cast of characters, really interesting sci-fi lore here. So not bad in summer there. It's a shame he never really done like sequels like that Villeneuve did. But all right, number four is Wild at Heart. Wild at Heart is of course a film starring like William Dafoe, Nicolas Cage, Laura Dern, and it's for like young lovers who hits the road to start like a new life together away from the wrath of her disappointed mother here. And it's a really interesting music type film. The chemistry with Laura Dern and Nicolas Cage is great. It is a really interesting flex great script here. The late Diane Ladd is also in this as well. She's terrific. It's a really good one if you guys haven't seen that. All right. Coming in at number three is Eraserhead. Now, Eraserhead, of course, was actually David Lynch's first film he directed. And Eraserhead is a really interesting story here. With like Harry Spencer, who tries to survive the industrial environment and his angry girlfriend and the screams of his newborn mutant child here. And this was his first feature, starring Jack Nance, Shaw Stewart, Jennifer Lynch. Some interesting cast characters here. It is a really weird film if you guys haven't seen it. A really interesting 70s film as well. So if you guys haven't seen it, definitely give that one a go. It is a really weird but creepy one there. All right. Coming in at number two is The Elephant Man. Now, The Elephant Man, of course, is about the surgeon who rescues like this beauty disfigured man from being mistreated by his owner here. And of course, you do got John Hurt who of course plays John Merritt. Anthony Hopkins was in this one. Really great script dialogue here. It is a really interesting true story film. Great performances by John Hurt. This was also David Lynch's second movie he directed following Eraserhead. Of course, it was in black and white, so there's that. It's a really decent film. You guys ever seen that one? And my number one favorite is Blue Velvet. I mean, oh wait, and by the way, I a little bit messed up here. I skipped five, so I'm gonna go with number five. Number five, I can not believe I skipped five, but number five is of course Mulholland Drive. Now, of course, Mulholland Drive, directed by David Lynch, starring Naomi Watts. Really the one that really put her on the map, if I'm not mistaken. And this, of course, stars the likes of you even have Billy Cyrus popping up in this. Okay, Laura Herring, Justin Theroux. You know, it is, of course, an interesting film, say the least. Where like a dark-haired woman played by Laura Herring is left episodic after a car crash, and she wanders the street of L.A. 8 days before taking refuge in like an apartment. And there she, of course, she is discovered by Betty, played by Naomi Watts, who's a wholesome Midwestern blonde who comes to the city of Angels seeking fame as an actress here. And the movie is really like a love letter to LA, say the least. Interesting mystery film. Justice DeRogue was great. The one that really put Naomi Watts on the map for most people. It's such a really good one. I cannot believe I literally almost forgot to include that one. I cannot believe I skipped 5. But anyway. And, my number one favorite David Lynch film is Blue Velvet. Of course, starring Dennis Hopper, Tom McLaughlin, Isabel Rossani, Laura Dern. Very interesting thriller, say at least. Where, of course, the discoverer of this human ear found, in the fields, leads a man on a investigation related to, this beautiful nightclub singer here. And crazy twists and turns around. It is a really interesting thriller. Really messed up at times. Probably one of my favorite Dennis Hopper performances, really. The one that really put Isabella Rossani on the map for most people. Such a really interesting film. Kyle MacLachlan is great, too. If you guys haven't seen it, give that one a go. But that's pretty much it there. Here's my quick rundown. Number 10, Lost Highway. 9, Inland Empire. 8, The Stray Story. 7, Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. 6, Dune. 5, Mulholland Drive. 4, Wild at Heart. 3, Eraserhead. 2, The Elephant Man. And number 1 is Blue Velvet. Let me let you guys. What's some of your favorite David Lynch films? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Super Starter.